we'll grow harder, from the experience. But as tight and as connected as this team is, and for those of you that cover the team and have been around it, you'll know they'll push each other, to be really good again.
What's going to change in
Well, as you go through, the scheme will be the same, and there's principles that we do offensively. It's the way we run wide zone. It's the keepers that we feature with Matt. It's the play action game. All that part of our system will be intact. How do we feature new players that come into it? How do we feature the existing schemes and try and do those better? That's where the goal will be. So we've got a terrific group of guys on the staff, and how do we utilize those? How do we utilize the players in the best way? So there won't be wholesale changes in our scheme, but each year is a little different how you feature the guys, and we'll find the best ways to do that. Yeah, the question was regarding Sark and what could he bring to the team. Well, he's got a real background as a play caller, and number one, that was important to us, having familiarity with what we do. He's somebody in his career that's been really committed in running the ball and having play action and running the keeper game that we do. So I thought through the years, he's somebody that I've personally connected with, and I thought we'd make a good fit together. He fully understands how do we utilize our guys the best, and knowing that each season, how do we utilize the players on the roster is really important. So we're fully underway with that.
Coach,
we do. Certainly when players who have unique stuff oftentimes get a lot of attention, and the red zone is one of those ways. So as long as the production is where we would like it to be, like every play going to who is generally a pretty good play in my opinion. But when there's opportunities based on the coverage going a certain way for other guys who are single to get open, I'm comfortable with that too. So as we go through this offseason, for sure that's going to be a spot to say, can he become even more involved in what we do? But fortunately for us, we've got some weapons at a number of different spots, at tight end, at running back, and the other spots at receiver of how to attack. Well, honestly, when you have in the division, it's a lot of fun, and we get to play teams in the division twice a year, so there is some natural rivalries that take place. And honestly, being in the NFC South, we got a fantastic division, and the battles that we go against, between Carolina and Tampa Bay and New Orleans is real. And the team that comes out, and wins that division, they've had to go through some fights. And but we honestly, it's for us, we love the competition that goes along with the division. Sure. The question was regarding Robert Salah, and he's really smart. Number one, he has a really good and solid, rock solid understanding of the principles of playing 3 deep and man-to-man. He's an excellent teacher, and I think as a coordinator, that's a really important thing, especially when you're first putting the whole thing together, so everyone has a real clear understanding and they're all on the same page. So I think he'll do a fantastic job. Yes, Bob. Yeah, the question is going to be, how's it the defensive line, whether it's in free agency or the draft. Number one, the line of scrimmage on both sides are always an emphasis for us. So being here, I am excited to look at that group of guys and get to know them better and find out more. I've loaded a number of film, to watch while we're here as well. As far as free agency goes, there's also some guys on our own team, that we're still going to talk to. Our free agency period began earlier this year, when we signed Schrader and Alford and some others, and we got some other guys on the horizon that are really important to us that are part of our team already. But as we're looking through and building through the draft, and we'll add some through free agency as well. Well, the number one thing first is get off, and I want to see, can a guy beat you to the punch? And as a pass rusher, having that get off to stress the offensive tackle the most right off the bat, and to break down their technique based on a guy's initial quickness, that's what I look like most. Past that, you want to find a guy who has a finisher's mentality. Very rarely do you just beat a guy one time with one move. It's the strain, the battle, the finish to go the extra step, win the last yard. And those guys who have that kind of fight with that kind of speed and get off, generally, you're going to hear their names called pretty early on.
2 years in college.
Well, what I can say from the 49ers, they're getting a fantastic coach and a guy who has a very clear understanding offensively, defensively, line play. I've said this before, that he is one of the few coaches that have a full understanding, run game, offensive line, quarterback play, receiver play. You could put him into any spot on the offense and he'd be able to coach that position. That's a rare trait. There's some guys who are so strong in one area, might be in the run game, or so strong in the pass game, but he's got a really clear understanding of how to do the whole thing. So I never like to see anybody leave the staff, but what I can appreciate is a guy taking a risk to say, hey, I want to go give this a shot and go battle for it, and so I'm excited for him and the opportunity that he has there. Could you repeat the question, please? Hooper? At tight end, we're excited for Hooper, we really are. When we came out, we thought, coming out of Stanford, he was, a younger guy, but man, did he develop. His love of ball is evident, like when the tight end coach Wade comes down, there's usually one guy already waiting in his meeting room, with questions at 7 o'clock in the morning, and that's Hoop. So his energy, his enthusiasm to get better is evident on a regular basis. He's got a visit with the docs again coming up next week, and we'll make a determination after that. So it hasn't been determined when or if at this point, but it's something that we are definitely going to consider, or he is going to consider.
I'll see what else is up.
Well, the what-if game is real, and if you're prepared to go down that road, there's a lot of layers to it. So what I can tell you is I went through, just like in every game, no game comes down to one play. And as you go back through it, and could you have a do-over on certain plays? And in this situation, yeah, I'd say that's not a lot different than most games. The Sunday nights sleeping are the hardest for me, not the Saturdays, because you go back through it, you could have had a different call here or a different way to play that scenario there. But at the end, you have to own them, and you do what you think is best to go win the game at that time, and we'll always do that. We're an aggressive team, and we're going to take our shots, and the reason we were able to play in the Super Bowl is because you are aggressive, and we're not going to back off the challenges. So, do-overs, would you like to have some? Yes. Is that every game? It is. But what I can tell you is the feeling this team has and together, how tough and connected they are, it's 100% a blast to be a part of. I do one more here. Go ahead.
Along those lines, looking at this range from 10 49, 25,
I don't know if we have enough time to go through all of those, but what I can say is that the execution that you have to have at the end, you got to give them credit too, in terms of their ability to execute in certain spots in certain areas. So when you go back through it in different calls or different ways, yeah, there's lessons to be learned. It's ones that go in the memory bank forever. And like I said, we're kind of hopeful now to learn those lessons, take from them, and then move forward. All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you, Coach.
Have a good one.